Welcome to the Majestic Truth podcast. Join us as we delve into the mysteries of the universe, explore the unexplained, and shed light on some of the most important events that have occurred and are occurring in our world today. Get ready to open your mind, expand your horizons, and discover the extraordinary. This is the Majestic Truth podcast. And now your host, Michelle.
Welcome back, Truth Seekers, to another episode of the Majestic Truth podcast, the show that explores the most intriguing mysteries and unexplained phenomena from our world and beyond. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we will be exploring the Levelland UFO sighting of 1957. Before we kick off the show here, head on over to majestictruth.com/episode 25 to see the overview of this particular episode. All right, let's explore the details of this event. In the vast realm of UFO history, few cases have captivated the imagination quite like the Levelland UFO case. Nestled in the heart of Texas, Levelland was a small town with a population that barely exceeded 10,000 in 1957. However, it would become the stage for an extraordinary series of events. The significance of the Levelland UFO case lies not only in its breathtaking nature, but also in the sheer number of witnesses involved within a remarkably short time frame. During those fateful nights on November 2nd and 3rd, numerous individuals reported encountering unidentified flying objects while traversing highways near Levelland. While UFOlogists consider this case to be one of great importance, it's essential to acknowledge that alternative explanations have been provided by both skeptics and official entities such as the U.S. Air Force. Despite these differing perspectives, there is no denying that something truly remarkable occurred during those nights in November 1957. To fully appreciate the impact and implications of this case, we must first understand the setting within which these events unfolded. Levelland was a typical American town at that time, tight-knit communities with hard-working citizens striving for their slice of the American dream. Its location amidst vast open plains made it an ideal spot for agriculture and ranching activities. As darkness blanketed Levelland on November 2nd, individuals began their routine commutes along desolate highways surrounding town. Little did they know that their lives were about to be forever altered by inexplicable phenomena. These ordinary citizens, unsuspecting of the extraordinary events that would unfold, soon found themselves face to face with unidentified flying objects. One eyewitness, James Long, a truck driver hauling his cargo through the lonely night, described an intense and blinding light that suddenly engulfed his vehicle. His truck's engine stalled as a massive object hovered ominously above him. Fear coursed through Long's veins as he watched the object move silently into the distance before vanishing into thin air. How terrifying. Similar accounts flooded in from other witnesses during that same night and the following day. Their descriptions painted a vivid picture of strange aerial crafts, defying conventional understanding. Witnesses reporting seeing glowing spheres or cigar-shaped objects emitting brilliant lights that danced across the sky. These encounters left an indelible mark on those who experienced them. Some witnesses spoke of overwhelming feelings of awe and wonderment, while others admitted to being plagued by lingering fear and anxiety long after their encounter had ended. These personal narratives add a human element to the Levelland UFO case, reminding us that these were not just distant specks in the sky, but experiences that deeply affected everyday people. The Levelland UFO case presented investigators with an unprecedented challenge: how to discern between natural phenomena and potential extraterrestrial activity. With this daunting task at hand, experts employed scientific methodologies rooted in rigorous analysis. Eyewitness testimonies formed a crucial pillar of investigations, Investigators meticulously documented and cross-referenced these accounts, searching for patterns and consistencies among the diverse narratives. This meticulous approach allowed them to identify commonalities in descriptions, suggesting a shared experience rather than isolated incidents. Furthermore, physical traces left behind by these encounters provided valuable evidence. Investigators examined soil samples for abnormalities or anomalies that might indicate unusual energy sources or disturbances. They painstakingly measured radiation levels and analyzed magnetic fields to uncover any scientific anomalies that could shed light on the nature of these unidentified objects. Additionally, investigators called upon experts from various fields, such as meteorology, physics, and electrical engineering, to lend their expertise. By pooling their collective knowledge, they aimed to distinguish between natural phenomena like ball lightning or electrical storms and potential extraterrestrial involvement. The Levelland UFO case has not been immune to skepticism or alternative explanations put forth by scientists and skeptics. Some argue that ball lightning, a rare atmospheric phenomenon characterized by luminous spheres, could account for the reported sightings instead of attributing them to extraterrestrial origins. Supporting this theory is the fact that November 1957 witnessed severe weather conditions in Levelland, including thunderstorms with intense electrical activity. Skeptics propose that during such storms, ball lightning could have formed under specific atmospheric conditions, leading witnesses to mistake it for unidentified flying objects. To bolster their arguments further, scientists pointed out similarities between eyewitness descriptions of glowing spheres and known characteristics of ball lightning's appearance, an eerie parallel casting doubt on the alien hypothesis. Furthermore, skeptics emphasize that human perception can be fallible under extraordinary circumstances. Stressful situations combined with limited visibility may lead witnesses to misinterpret natural phenomena as otherworldly objects, thus undermining the credibility of their accounts. While these alternative explanations challenge the extraterrestrial narrative, it's essential to approach them with an open mind. All right, so let's load up some newspaper articles. This first one is from the Odessa American, Monday, November 4th, 1957. West Texas skyball. Views remain puzzle. Flying saucer prober thinks it's spaceship. Levelland, Texas, a man who has spent 20 years studying aerial phenomena, said today he believes a mysterious object seen in West Texas and New Mexico was a spacecraft from one of the neighboring planets. The expert is James Lee of Abilene, Texas, a member of the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena and a director of Interplanetary Space Patrol, a West Texas organization which investigates flying saucers and similar objects. Lee rushed here Sunday upon hearing of the latest object seen by at least 9 persons in 2 states. The egg-shaped object, described as about 200 feet long and a brilliant red, was glimpsed by at least 5 persons in the Levelland area, including the sheriff, 3 persons at Midland, and another at Clovis, New Mexico. Sheriff Ware Clem and his deputy, Pat McCullough, spotted the object streaking across the sky in front of their car. The ground observer corps at Midland reported that an unidentified mother and her 2 children saw a large object of bluish color flying west and very low early Saturday night. Otis Eccles, owner of radio station KCLV in Clovis, New Mexico, said he saw a streak of light like a fireball moving in a southeasterly direction about 8 p.m. on Saturday. "I think it's a spacecraft from one of the neighboring planets," he declared. He said he will make a report of his investigation to Washington. Sheriff Ware Clem said today no one else reported seeing the object since Sunday morning. Clem said Lee told him, "You folks have had it. A visit from outer space." Lee left at 11 p.m. Sunday after completing his investigation. Lighted object is widely seen. Reports of a mystery object, which one witness said flew around with a great sound and rush of wind, had officials and the public puzzled today. Newsmen and authorities had reports of sightings over a wide West Texas area Saturday and yesterday. peace officers checking areas where landings were reported were unable to find any trace. Reese Air Force Base officials declined to say whether an investigation was being made. Colonel W.E. Matthews, Texas State Coordinator for the Ground Observers Corps, said at Austin no special alert had been called by his organization. He said headquarters for ground observer areas have been on 24-hour duty for 2.5 years. Pedro Saucedo, 30, a farmhand and part-time barber here, told officers and newsmen, "I was driving out to a farm near the Pettit community with a friend, Joe Salas. When he first saw the thing, we first saw a flash of light in the field to our right, and we didn't think much about it at first. When it got near, the lights of my truck went out, and the motor died. I jumped out of the truck and hit the dirt because I was afraid. I called to Joe, but he didn't get out. The thing passed directly over my truck with a great sound and a rush of wind. It sounded like thunder, and my truck rocked from the blast. I felt a lot of heat. Then I got up and watched it go out of sight toward Levelland," he said. Saucedo, a Korean War veteran, said it was torpedo-shaped or like a rocket, but much larger. Bill Wilkerson, Lubbock Morning Avalanche veteran police reporter who talked to Saucedo, said he appeared considerably agitated. Ronald Martin, 18, a Levelland truck driver, and his truck engine died and the lights went out when a big ball of fire dropped on the highway east of here early Sunday. Martin said the object changed to a bluish-green color when it settled on the highway, then changed to a fireball again when it rose straight up and disappeared. Newell Wright, a Texas Tech student from here, reported a similar occurrence also east of Levelland. Police patrolman A.J. Fowler said Saucedo and about 14 others who called in reports of the object sounded upset and, in some cases, terrified. No kidding. They seemed to agree that this something was 200 feet long, shaped like an egg, and was lit up like it was on fire, but looked more like neon lights, he said. They said it was about 200 feet in the air, and when it got close, car motors and lights would go off. Everybody that called was very excited, he asserted. Sheriff Ware Clem said he saw a brilliant light in the distance, but didn't get close enough for a good look. Highway Patrolman Lee Hargrove and Floyd Cavan reported seeing similar flashes in the sky in about the same area and at the same time as Clem. All were riding in separate cars. There also were reports of an unexplained light in the sky far across the state between Sherman and McKinney. Calvin Harris and Sandy McKean, CAA control tower workers at the Amarillo airport, said they saw a blue gaseous object which moved swiftly and left an amber trail southeast of the city Saturday night. A couple driving into Amarillo from the south Saturday night told policeman J.R. Poole of an occurrence similar to the one reported by Saucedo. But Poole had not heard of the Levelland reports and said he brushed them off without getting their names. South Texans report seeing aerial thing. Brenham, Texas. 2 South Texans reported to the Brenham Banner Press Saturday night that they had seen a strange bright object in the sky at the Burton community, 14 miles west of Brenham. Newsman Tom Whitehead said Ed Fisher and A.B. Fisher called him about 7 p.m. Saturday to report seeing the glowing bright object in the sky west of Burton at about 5:50 p.m. Ed Fisher said it was larger in the center than on the end and appeared quite large in the sky and very bright until it was obscured by clouds. He said the object was observed for 3 or 4 minutes until it was obscured by clouds, and it didn't appear to be moving in any particular direction, although it seemed to be getting higher. And how about this story from the Morning Call, Monday, November 4th, 1967? Blazing object stalls cars, creates minor Texas uproar. Levelland, Texas, November 3rd. West Texans puzzled today over accounts of a mystery object big and ablaze with light, which dozens told of seeing in the sky and several said they found squatting in roadways. Observers told newsmen of at least 5 instances in which the engines of cars approaching the phantom object last night and early today were unaccountably stalled, but restarted as the phenomenon rose into the air. Sheriff Clem, who said he observed the brilliant light but didn't get a close view, reported one witness fainted from the fright. Police patrolman A.J. Fowler, on duty in Levelland, as reports poured in from startled residents, said at least 15 persons told of getting a good look, and dozens cited what appeared to be flashes of light. They seemed to agree that this something was 200 feet long, shaped like an egg, and was lit up like it was on fire, but looked more like neon lights, Fowler related. They said it was about 200 feet in the air, and when it got close, car motors and lights would go off. Everybody that called was very excited. Clem said James Long, truck driver from Waco, Texas, we mentioned earlier, fainted after driving upon the mystery object in a road about 4 miles west of here. I'm wondering if he had any time loss. Long later told the sheriff his truck stalled and the lights went out as he neared what appeared to be a brilliant egg-shaped mass about 200 feet long. The trucker said his truck started running and the lights came back on after the object rose into the air. Clem said Long and other witnesses told of hearing what sounded like a big clap of thunder as the blazing lights settled to the ground and again as it seemed to take off. The sheriff said his office had found no evidence that any plane might have been in trouble. Authorities at Reese Air Force Base outside Lubbock said they had checked and could offer no explanation. Reports to peace officers covered sightings in this vicinity from 8:15 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. when Clem said he was one of those observing the object. At Odessa, theater executives Wallace Scott and Milton Namkin told of watching a greenish light flash through the clouds northeast of town between 2 and 2:15 a.m. today. All right, so the Levelland sightings received national publicity and were soon investigated by Project Blue Book. Started in 1947 as Project Sign, Project Blue Book was the official U.S. Air Force research group assigned to investigate UFO reports. An Air Force sergeant was sent to Levelland and spent 7 hours in the city investigating the incident. After interviewing 3 of the witnesses, Saucedo, Wheeler, and Wright, and after learning that thunderstorms were present in the area earlier in the day, the Air Force investigator concluded that a severe electrical storm, most probably ball lightning or St. Elmo's fire, was the major cause for the sightings and reported auto failures. 2 ufologists, James McDonald and J. Allen Hynek, disputed the Air Force ball lightning and electrical storm explanation. Both men argued that there was no electrical storm in the area when the sightings occurred. In testimony before a committee of the U.S. House of Representatives in 1968, McDonald said that one famous case was at Levelland, Texas. 10 vehicles were stopped within a short area, all independently in a 2-hour period. There was no lightning or thunderstorm and only a trace of rain. Hynek wrote that as the person responsible for the tracking of the new Soviet satellite Sputnik, I was on a virtual around-the-clock duty and was unable to give it any attention. I am not proud today that I hastily concurred in the Air Force's evaluation as ball lightning on the basis of information that an electrical storm had been in progress in the Levelland area at the time. This was shown not to be the case. Observers reported overcast and mist, but no lightning. Hynek also noted that had I given it any thought whatsoever, I would soon have recognized the absence of any evidence that ball lightning can stop cars and put out headlights. Ufologists have also argued that the Air Force investigator did not interview 9 of the 15 witnesses, nor were they mentioned in Blue Book's final report on the incident. While the Levelland UFO case remains impressive for its large number of witnesses and intriguing eyewitnesses accounts, alternative explanations have been proposed by skeptics and scientists alike. It's crucial to maintain an open mind when examining such cases and consider all possibilities before drawing definitive conclusions. The Levelland UFO case serves as a reminder that there is still much we do not understand about our world and beyond. It encourages us to continue exploring these mysteries while keeping a critical eye on evidence presented. As we wrap up this episode, I leave you with room for further contemplation about what truly occurred during those fateful nights in November 1957 in Levelland, Texas. The answers may elude us for now, but remain within reach if we continue our search for truth in the cosmos. Send me your thoughts about the Levelland UFO sighting to truth@majestictruth.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, Truth Seekers, that concludes this episode of the Majestic Truth Podcast. For more information on this episode about the Levelland UFO sightings of 1957, visit majestictruth.com/episode 25. I hope you've enjoyed exploring the depths of the unknown with us today. Remember, the pursuit of truth and the quest for knowledge are ongoing journeys. So stay curious, stay open-minded, always follow your dreams, and keep seeking answers. And if you have your own theories or stories to share about UFOs and other conspiracies, reach out to us on social media or email us at truth@majestictruth.com. Don't forget to mark your calendars and set your alarms because our next episode will be available in 2 weeks on your favorite podcast app. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep your eyes in the skies, your mind open, and remember, the truth is out there.
For updates, behind-the-scenes content, and a chance to engage with fellow truth seekers, stay connected with us on social media. Find us on Twitter at TruthSeekerPod, Instagram at Majestic Truth Seekers, and TikTok at Majestic Truth Seekers. Thanks for listening.